got faith in you.
Thank you. That's all I needed. Just a little validation.
Yeah.
My anus is open. You can't tell because I'm wearing pants. Life is a challenge.
How do you get through it?
Laughing at the dark and dirty. We walk you through all the naughty secrets of the adult industry, and you get to be a fly on the wall with two best friends in the business of boobs.
We want to hear your dirty secrets too.
If you have stories to share, questions for us, need advice, which may or may not be helpful,
But we'll make you laugh.
we'll always be laughing here, and we thank you for coming this week.
The Totally Wholesome, Not Dirty podcast, hosted by Molly Stewart and Laura Contreras.
Are you comfy or
Yeah.
is it too cushy?
No, I like it. I just like to, well, I always
good to
sit
bounce
weird.
on.
I sit weird on things all the time. Like, it's everything I can do to, like, stop myself when I'm at, like, a nice restaurant. I'm like, I'm uncomfortable. I just want to sit
Yeah.
like this.
Legs crossed.
Welcome back to the Totally Wholesome, Not Dirty podcast.
We are broadcasting to you from the land down under in the past because this isn't coming out till January and currently it's December.
And joining me again, I have Ariel Rose, who I'm very excited to have back and to see you again because it's been ages. And I feel like
been
last time I
quite
saw
some
you, you were
time.
super busy.
Yeah.
And I was super busy and everything was hectic.
It was so chaotic.
Everything is chaos. I feel like this entire year has been pretty much nothing but chaos.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if, I don't know if you felt that way.
Throughout all of December, it's been absolute chaos.
I'm going to do this.
You just want to get close to me,
I
don't you?
do. I'm just going to get right in here and I'm just
Just a
gonna,
little bit further.
Yeah, right by your mouth. Yeah, just like that.
You're so helpful.
I try. So we are coming from your new place. So the last time we talked on the pod, we were at Creative Studios, which is unfortunately no longer even a thing. I looked up to do a shoot and they ended up closing down, which is sad, but it adds to the chaos of 2023. So
Let's just hope
all
next
right.
year will be a better.
So this is coming out in 2024. So what are your projections? All right, coming to you from 2023. What are your projections for the year of 2024, Ariel?
I don't know. I've got so many plans.
So many plans. What are some of your things you're most looking forward to in the new year?
I'm starting jiu-jitsu and I'm really fucking excited.
What?
Yeah.
That is so cool.
So I really want to just start fighting. Not
Weak
only
men.
just yes. I don't know what it is, but I love having a vulnerable man in front of me, and just being able to, I guess, showcase my power.
Well, I feel like I something about having power over a man, especially physically. I don't know, for myself personally, I think we might have touched on this the last episode that we did together, but I was always very much that I want to be as fast as the boys, I want to be as strong as the boys. I would do push-up contests
I
with
love
boys
it.
and I would go until I'm falling into the floor and be sore for days and be like, but I won.
Yeah.
And
It's such a nice feeling.
and I feel I don't know if this is how much you want to touch on or anything like that, but for me personally, I feel I had a lot of my power that I felt I used to have taken away by men. So when I am able to get into a dominant role, it kind of feeds that inner child a bit, where I'm kind of not in a gross way or whatever, but it kind of taking back a bit of the power that I feel was taken away from me.
Yeah.
And so it kind of, maybe it's an ego thing. I don't know, but maybe it's a healing thing.
I don't really know if it's an ego thing. I think it's just a part of you that's just being brought out.
Yeah.
And it's an exciting feeling.
It is.
It's not very common that you showcase that power because yeah, I don't know.
Well, especially because and I think obviously our roles in this industry are different to an extent, but I feel a lot of guys, especially for me, when everything is my body put on display and they want someone who's vulnerable, and it is vulnerable to share your nude body with the masses of people on the internet. It is a vulnerable thing, but when you can feel powerful in that. We also have Luna joining us, so if you do hear anything, it's little Luna the kitty ripping apart the ottoman
And cleaning.
she's
She knows what
she's
it's
all right. Listen, if I could do that, I would. Can you imagine if you could lick your own snatch? I mean, we wouldn't even need men at that point. It's we're
Unless you're
strong
very
and we can lick our own.
Well, see, being in this industry, I feel there's a really nice balance of showcasing vulnerability, but also showcasing power.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess in my case, I show a lot of that muscle power, not only internal power, but a lot of very expressiveness.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it very enjoyable. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's something about it, like, and once I got into things like being more consistent with training and like gaining muscle, and then like kind of opening up myself to that kind of new untouched fan base. Like I've always been a little bit more fit, but not like I am now. not like I wanted to be.
You've gained some size since I last saw you.
Thank you.
Let me see those biceps.
I've actually, it was funny because I was so focused on upper body. That's always kind of like been my thing, is I love doing pull-ups. I love like push-ups were always my thing. Like even when I was just training to like maintain, it was always like push-ups, like upper body stuff only. And I've been getting more into like leg and lower body. And it makes pull-ups harder when you have an ass, let me tell you, because there's more weight.
I'm sorry. The first thing that came into my mind is those video clips that you do of being like really naughty in the gym. The one where you see like the pole and you're like,
yep.
Sorry. I thought that was really funny.
That was fun. That was with Kitty Pine. Yeah, she
Laura.
Laura. Yeah, our comedian friend. She is into doing the fitness and all that stuff as well. Used to do like the bodybuilding like competitions and all that kind of stuff.
Fun.
So, and then she's really funny. So like it's been really cool. Like some amazing things about this podcast, and maybe in the new year we're monetized again. Probably not, but currently we're not monetized. But some of the very cool things about like hosting the show is being able to interact with people from all walks of life, and like from comedians to bodybuilders and just kind of getting this huge, like much broader understanding of people, because there are so many people with different focuses, and it's like you can be funny, you can be strong, you can be beautiful, you can take 3 dicks in your ass, and I can't do that. So it's like there's so much variance with people and like what they're into and what they're good at, and
their kinks.
Yes. What are some of your favorite kinks to like get into or like play to the fantasy of with like your fans, for instance?
So my fans are really into dominatrix.
Oh, shocker.
Or like that giantess.
Yes.
You know, like talking down to them and just being really expressive. And,
do you have like the tiny men?
Yes,
services
I find it so cute. I love
honestly,
it. I love it.
Shout out Shane. You know Shane. You know I love picking you up virtually and throwing you against the wall. It's cool.
I mean, for instance, my biggest kinks, I absolutely love muscle worship. I don't know why. It's
because you have muscles and you like to be worshipped.
I do feel like muscle worship is like a really big thing for me, or just being worshipped in general. I feel like women deserve that. Yeah, I know men do too, but like,
yeah, but I mean,
I don't know, something about a woman being worshipped first. I find that like a really big build up.
Isn't that a book like She Comes First, and it's like about like
sounds about right.
It should be. It's one of those things too. Well, and I don't know personally. Are you multi-orgasmic? Like, or are you kind of like a one and done? Like if you orgasm, that's it.
I would say
multi gang. Hey. So I always used to think, and it was so funny because I used to be under the impression that I'm just like, oh, I just come a lot. Women just come a lot. They just don't know what they're doing. And listening to other podcasts and stuff like that, I'm like, oh, it's like not the case. Or even just like discussing, with other women in the industry or not in the industry, like people just normal vanilla folks, you know what I mean? And it's not as common. And so it's one of the things that in past relationships and a lot of past sexual experiences, unless I was with women, it was not about my orgasm at all. It was like getting them to the orgasm.
I'm the same.
And I was just like, well, I'll just take care of it. You know what I mean? But it's awesome when you can have a partner or even a fan who is like, I want you to orgasm. I want you to come. I want you to be fulfilled. Like my ex, we do all these sexual things that I was just not into, but I was all about the pursuit of like, number one, avoiding the argument. Number two, just like if I make him happy, then by proxy I'll be happy, right? Or maybe something that I want will come back to me. And it wasn't the case in a lot of instances,
I'm not sure if it's just me, but I definitely feel like even just doing content with women, it's very different than making content with men. Like, I don't do content with men, but
Yeah.
with women, I find that I'm very much more expressive
Mm-hmm.
and a little bit more vulnerable. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is about that female energy, but I definitely feel that vulnerability with them.
I think
a
it
lot
is
more.
something maybe too where it's kind of like it is kind of that situation. And I know this is like not everyone, not every sexual experience, but typically I mean, I hear it much more from women than men that it's like I had the sexual encounter and I didn't come and I had to take care of business later. And I think it's something that when you kind of have maybe a little bit of that common ground and you're already in the position that, okay, we're going to do this, it's like, you know what the woman wants and you know what you want. And so when you can kind of vibe off that together,
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
It becomes this like magical experience.
Hello.
So
All the girls here on the couch.
she's very, very
Hello. Hi.
affectionate.
I
I think all
love-
women are.
yeah, I've definitely found that more. Like, I think I've mentioned this on other episodes, but just like for the longest time, like doing shows with other girls, like cam shows and filming content was like so much more enjoyable to me than any of the other sexual encounters I was having with men. And it's not even that necessarily the men that I was having sex with were like mean or that it was like a terrible situation. Like usually whatever was terrible about it was typically perpetuated by my ex
Yeah.
being in that situation as well.
Yeah.
But I would get excited about a girl. I would get excited, you know, and now obviously I get excited about my partner.
Yeah.
But I remember even going into situations with men that maybe my ex would set up or whatever, and it'd be like, okay, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to put my best foot forward. And I would just leave it being like, what the fuck? Like,
Do you ever feel like, sorry, I cut you
no,
off.
no, I just talk. So cut me off.
Do you feel like, I don't know, because like in my case, when I'm making content with a woman, I'm very much myself. Like, I don't know how to act. And when I connect with a woman, it's as though it just flows very fluently. So
Yeah.
creating, like, because I come up with all of these creative ideas, and then when we implement them, it's like, it's just so fluent and it just happens so naturally.
Yeah.
And it becomes one of my best scenes. And I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit. Like,
No, yeah, I've
know?
often found that, and of course, like, you know, there's not chemistry with everyone, but definitely some of my best scenes are kind of like, oh, here's like the baseline idea, right? And it's not even mainstream. Like the mainstream shooting is fun, like, and
Yeah.
there's a time and place for it, but like the content that I just make, just me and another girl, a camera. It feels like you're just making a sex tape with someone that you're excited about instead of like
Exactly.
putting on a production. And even if I'll have like an idea where it's like, here's the concept, sometimes that kind of goes out the window and you just like get into it, or you both get into the concept and then it becomes like something more like,
it's just magical.
yes, it's like creative, like it's, and I guess it's hard to kind of articulate what it is, but there is something that is just kind of magical about it. And I typically don't, I mean, I shouldn't say never, but I typically don't leave a situation making content with a girl where I'm like, oh, like
That was a waste of time. Or...
yeah, and obviously there are those situations, and I've had sex with so many women at this point, and men, but I would say that it's kind of definitely leaning in the favor towards women of
Yeah.
like more positive experiences.
just very sensual and very,
Yeah,
just very
yeah,
intimate.
like and when I first, you know, got into the industry, most of my sexual experiences were through my ex and things that he would set up and all that. And I mean, there were situations with men where I was just like I've also never been in a scene, and I'm sure that there's a potential for this to happen, but I haven't personally had it happen where it's like they just want it to be over. You know what I mean?
That feeling
Yeah.
of rushing.
Yes.
Or
like-
I actually have never been in that situation.
Yeah, and I've also had like situations with men where it's like, number one, like get it done as fast as possible, but even number two where it's
such
like
a put off.
where it's not like a doming scenario where
Yeah.
where it's like, oh, you want to hurt me in a way that I like. It's like, I want to hurt you. You know what I mean? I've never had that with a woman. I've had that requested of me with women, but
Yeah.
also in that more dominant role where it's like, choke me, bite me, pull my hair, fire, all that kind of stuff. But that's kind of like, okay, that's their thing. But I mean, and typically when I've had sex with women on or off cam, it's always very much like, what are you into? What do you
I
like?
feel like the
Like
communication is so
the communication
important
is so
when it
much
comes
better.
to even just building up that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I definitely understand where you're coming
Mm-hmm.
from.
Like I disassociated through so many sexual experiences with men where it's like I could tell you the number, couldn't tell you much else about it unless it was something that was standout that was awful. Like because it's like, well, that kind of stuck with you,
Is
But
there like a scene that really stood out to you that made you feel a certain way?
like positive?
Yeah,
Like,
positive.
so many. I have to go through the catalog in my head. Trying to think as far as there's so many.
Sorry, I kind of put you on the spot
No,
there.
it's one of those things that like I have done so many scenes. It's not like I can't remember. I'm trying to think like standouts. I feel like there was so much time that I was like I didn't enjoy sex.
Okay.
Like
More the foreplay,
so for me it was like the performance that I
the
liked.
performance. Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's not like the women did anything bad, but it like there were some really good connections. Like I remember a scene I did, Restaurant Critic with Evelyn Stone, and that was for Brazzers, and that was like really fun because we had really good chemistry like before and after. Like sometimes you'll go into a situation, especially with mainstream, where it's kind of like the girls don't even like talk to you until their
Okay.
face is in your snatch, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like for me, I kind of like to have that little build up, a little tease beforehand.
Yeah.
I know that it's a job, but I'm not here to like trying to date you, but I want to have a little foreplay, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
as far as like even just some banter and stuff like that back and forth. And she was really, really cool with that. And we had a great time, just like the ridiculousness of the scene, then combined with like her, like I could really tell that she was into the sex.
It's nice to be able to do a scene, even just a first scene and learning their body, but also I feel like the more you get closer to them, you're learning about
Yeah,
their
the more
mind.
it's just like with anyone, like the more that you fuck like the same person, the more you can get a vibe for like what they like, what you like, and they kind of learn vice versa if it's going well and you
Yeah,
both
of course.
are present
Yeah.
for it, But that is a thing with mainstream where like people always ask me like, why don't you shoot mainstream anymore? Well, there's a lot of reasons, but it's not like mainstream was so terrible, but it is very much not all the time, but in a lot of situations like job like.
Yeah.
And I don't like sex to be a job. Like I feel like most of the sex that I had in my, 19 through late 20s was very much a job. So the ones that do stand out are the ones that felt like very fun.
Very
And
fluent
most of
natural.
the best, lesbian sex that I had was on webcam because it was like you have the one camera, maybe you have like a secondary camera set up, but
in
it's
that
like
moment.
you're engaging together, entertaining an audience, but you're chatting, you're doing this, you're like, ooh, what are we gonna do? What's coming next? And it's like an oil massage to build up, and maybe like you haven't even seen the person naked yet, so then you have a nude goal, and then it's like, oh, you get to see their tits for the first time, you get to like suck on their tits for the first time, and then it's like this whole like teasing process drawn out like by the fans and the tipping, and that was really cool to be able to kind of vibe with that. And we'd go for like a weekend to like a hotel and just kind of like have fun. And
so
just
nice.
and it is exciting too, of course, when it's like someone new and you're like, are we gonna vibe, aren't we gonna vibe? And it was usually a great experience, but I think definitely I've had more positive sexual experiences with women than men. And that's not to say like, oh, like all men are terrible in bed or blah blah blah. I don't know, I feel like probably because I had so many bad experiences
Yeah.
with men that I do feel a little more open, and I kind of feel a little bit more in control, not like of the women, but in control of myself
Yeah.
in situations with women, like more able to kind of like you said, like be myself and feel more open.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many times my experiences with men were like putting on a show and not
Yeah.
receiving anything in return.
Right.
It's like, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't actually think I asked you, but what are your favorite kinks?
Voyeur. Well, no, sorry. I always fuck that up. It's not voyeurism because I don't mind watching, but I am an exhibitionist, so I like to be watched. Um, I like to be on display. It's like I don't know. That's what I always loved about camming because it was just kind of like it's like putting on a show. It's putting on a performance, or even when I make like a video, and I know that people are gonna see it, and I'm like super excited about it. I'm like, I know that they're gonna be jerking off. They're gonna like this. It's gonna be cool, and like I think there's something really cool about that, and I love the fun of like doing something like a live stream because I'm like, oh, it's so naughty. There's so many people like watching at once. Like, what will I do
It's
next? Like,
exciting.
yeah, it's like it is really fun. Oh, hello. Kitties don't normally like me. Hi. You know what's good, don't you? No, I also really enjoy I enjoy the role of a Dom. I do. And it is that coming back to that kind of like taking back your power thing. And I think when I was on cam, especially, it's like I haven't done any in-person Dom sessions or anything. So I'm definitely not like a dominatrix by any means.
Mm.
And like mad respect to those who can.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I feel like during that time that I started getting requests for it just because I was like one of the tallest cam models on the site and I've always been a little more built even when I wasn't like working out, you know? It's just kind of my build come from a long line of
Yeah,
Sasquatches.
you are very tall, so
But it was kind of this strange thing for me at the time that I didn't really understand and I started really enjoying because I didn't feel like I had any power in my relationship. I didn't feel like I had any power in my sex life. So when I was on cam and would get these requests from men to be like, tell me how small my dick is. And I'm like, but it's not even that small because I'd be telling my ex at the time, like, no, it's the perfect size.
oh no.
So
They don't want to hear that.
it's so small. Um, but so I got to be in this role of like, oh, you actually enjoy this. You enjoy that I'm exerting power over you. That like, where does this power come from? And why is it that you want me when I have all these other men around me trying to completely control every aspect of my life and my being and giving me my opinions? Like it's not like I had my opinions. It was like, here is what you are, here is what you believe, here, and anything outside of that is a big no-no. But then in my cam space, my chat rooms, I would have the people that's like, you have the power over me and I'm giving you that power over me. And I was like, really? Why? And I just kind of thought that was a way that I could kind of feel powerful when I felt like weak,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you even feel like you have that power when it comes to creating content for, let's just say, like OnlyFans? Like you
Mm-hmm.
have that power to create it, but what if you get customs as well?
Well, see, but the great thing with customs and like the content that I make is kind of like it's custom to a point, but I always discuss with people beforehand like what they want and what I'm comfortable doing. And that's something that's really cool to me as well, because for a long time I would just like kind of do what I was told. And, even my ex would tell me this is the kind of content that you need to make and this is like this and blah, blah, blah. And now it's like, if I don't want to wear a butt plug, I'm not going to wear a fucking butt plug. And if I don't want to call, like, I don't like doing the fucking daddy thing. I
No.
don't fucking do that. It's not my vibe.
Yeah,
And so it's kind of like, I just accept
no.
the customs and I accept the content that
Yeah.
I know I'm going to feel good about making. And then it becomes better quality content overall. And I feel like ever since that last relationship, my content has definitely grown in a way that I'm so much more happy with and I'm excited to make and like be like, this is my idea or here's your concept and now I've made it into something that I know that you're gonna like
Yeah.
and that we're both happy with and I feel respected by my fans, which there were many years that I didn't feel respected, not by all my fans, of course, but by certain ones that, because especially with camming, it's like it's this whole thing, especially with MFC, it's like you get your whales, right? The ones that, you know, they kind of, it becomes kind of an abusive relationship and not all of them, not all those instances, but you do tend to cater to the people who are paying the most because it's like, well, if I lose you, then. But one of the other problems with that is other fans will then start to rely on those big tippers. So the big tippers start to feel like they have the control. So it's like, I don't like when you work with this person, so you don't work with that person again. Or I don't like when you do this, or why aren't you giving me this much attention? And then it becomes this like, well, now you're beholden to somebody else. And I don't run my shit like that anymore. I'm
No.
like, you respect me, or I don't do things for you.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that it's definitely changed my perspective of the industry a lot more, being able to kind of make it what I want instead of letting it do what it wants with me, you
Yep.
know?
Yep. I feel like OnlyFans is just, how do I put it? It's just getting better.
Yeah. And it's like, and the great thing too is I think that, because, you know, all platforms like change, you know, and there's always going to be a problem with some platform and there's always going to be a new one that pops up and maybe you'll have to go over. But once you kind of develop that base with your fans and you have that mutual understanding, then it's kind of like they'll go where you go.
Yeah.
And so it's like you're able to kind of make those changes. And of course, like everything takes time to do and to change. But I think it's kind of shown a lot of performers who were maybe focused on like, oh, I have to cater to this specific thing, or this is my only niche, or I have to do mainstream, I have to work for this many companies, I have to do this many scenes. It's like, I feel like it's kind of opened a lot of people's eyes to the fact that if you have a camera or a fucking phone, you can make content that your fans are going to appreciate. And it's not necessarily just the companies that they like or the platform that the fans like, it's you. So it's like if you can capitalize on that and keep pushing yourself to create quality content or to create the content that your fans enjoy and you're still happy with it, then it's going to push you a lot further than like doing this like grind for someone else, you know, like it has to be this campsite, it has to be, you know, this company that you're shooting mainstream, it has to, you know, because it doesn't, because there's so many options out there in the big wide world.
I love how with, I guess, any adult site, how subscribers can, in a way, support the character that you've built yourself to be, and they encourage you to be more. It's not necessarily about building that friendship. They really do just encourage you to be that best version of you. I don't know if you've ever encountered too many subscribers that are really, I guess, how do I put it? They're very, like, how do I put it? They're just very rude.
Yeah. I mean, that comes with like anything, but I feel like with the subscriber sites as well, whether it's like OnlyFans, Fansly, Loyal Fans, or like so many different platforms, when it comes to something like a cam site, or if you look at the comments on videos on a mainstream site when they post your scene, it's like everybody's got some shit to say, everybody's got some shit to talk, and it's like, but if they're coming specifically to your site, whatever that site is, it's like
They're there for
typically
you.
they're already a fan of
Yeah.
you and what you've made, and they want to see more, or they want to see more of the behind the scenes. What does your day look like? Like, what are your interests besides just licking pussy or taking dick? You know what I mean? Like, they're like, who are you? And I think that's really cool because like things like OnlyFans have afforded me the ability to do things like this podcast, where it's like, well, now other people listen to the podcast because they're like, oh, I'm interested to know about, you know, the people who create the content or what goes into creating content and all of that.
They love that build up of the storyline and what creators are all about and
Yeah.
what goes on behind the scenes.
And I feel like, and for so long I was so like, I'm still guarded about some things, of course, like you have to be, you can't like, because it is a character. Like I always say that like my performing character, right, is everything that I wish that I actually was. Like it's confident, sure of myself, dominating. I enter a room and it's, but when it comes to something like AVN, right, I put that on. When I go out to a show where people might know me, even if it's not an adult industry thing, I put on the character of Molly, and it's so many pieces of me, but it's all amplified. It's like, here's what I wish. Like, I wish I wasn't so fucking awkward. I wish that I could make an order at a restaurant without like panicking inside. And like, I wish that I could walk around not like this all the time if I feel uncomfortable. And I wish that I could just like, you know, maybe stand up for myself in certain instances. But sometimes now, like when I am in those instances, I think like it's so dumb, but like, what would Molly do? And it becomes this thing of like, okay, well, I can take that bit and I can, you know, maybe push that forward. And it does help afford me more confidence that I don't feel like I have myself. But it is this like I used to write characters. Like I love writing. You love writing too, because you said that you write your
I do
erotic
a lot of
fiction. Yes.
a lot of erotic writing. I would love to do more like voiceover stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like just being in the industry, it's It's easy, but at the same time, it's very challenging to separate yourself from your work character
Mm-hmm.
to the person that you really are.
Mm-hmm.
I lost myself a lot back, like, not even that long ago, to being that work character.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm learning so much about myself and who I really am
Mm-hmm.
now from separating myself from all that toxicity
Yeah.
and giving myself that time where I need to focus on me
Mm-hmm.
and learn more about me so then I can bring out that character of just me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to split into two, but I
Yeah.
do know my boundaries as well as every other creator knows their boundaries
Yeah.
and where they stand.
I agree completely. It's that it is that thing of like there are two, but they are one.
Hmm.
And but you still have to have the two because I know what you mean as far as like losing yourself. Because when I was in the relationships, like I said, that's like your opinions are shit. Here is what you are. This is, and I did lose myself. Like I didn't when I came out of that relationship, it was like who am I? What do I like? Am I only this performer? I'm only this thing. But
But that's what
once
makes it so exciting.
it is because
That
it's
there's just
like
so much
yeah,
out there for you to
but
see and feel.
it is scary though when you come out of something. That's why it's so important to have the two and to not lose the original you because once if you are in a situation like that when you do come out of it it's almost this like slap in the face like out of nowhere. It's like you were kicked out of your home and you're just like, wait, where's all my stuff? Where is my comfort? Like I don't know who I am outside of this home. And the home is kind of this like entire persona and character that I built and it's like that is what I was. And I was like, but I don't like all the pieces of that either.
Yeah.
So once you start to kind of get back to your roots and discovering yourself and figuring out how you've changed as a person, that can also kind of then go back into that character and grow that character as well. When you're finding your own growth, it's like you can also expand on that because it's like the whole stagnating thing, it's like it might have been a great character at one point, but if it stays that forever, it gets boring.
There's
It gets
so
dull.
much
You
more
have
to
to,
that
yeah,
character.
exactly. It's just a matter of allowing yourself to kind of, you know, respect that original part of you enough to open it up and figure out what else is in there. Because when it gets shut off for so long, it's kind of like, you just open it back up and like, are you still in there? Like, what do you
Yeah.
like?
It's
Like,
like this
what are you
doorway
into?
of
Yeah.
just discovering yourself again, and it's really exciting.
It's exciting but this is like fear and excitement are basically the same emotion because it's like that.
I wouldn't really call it more of like a fear. I feel like, I don't know. I don't really
Oh, for
fear it.
for me,
I
I
don't
had the
fear it.
fear
You
because,
had
and
that
I
fear.
think it was something. It was just a lot of things that I'm sure I've talked to death on the show about, but a lot of things I haven't. And I had this definite fear because I had this fear instilled in me by someone who was like this is what you are, and without me, you will be nothing, and everything that you have built will fail
Sounds
because you
familiar.
didn't, because you didn't build it. And so when I first came out of it, I was like, I I had to I like shut off. I wasn't ready to like figure me out yet. I was just like, well, I'm going to put everything I am into this character and I'm going to just sit in this because this is what I know and this is where I'm comfortable and just me is too scary. So I don't want to get into that. So I amped up my party lifestyle,
You
my
don't,
drinking
you
and
don't,
my
yeah.
all this stuff and I was too afraid to like get into the whys of who I was that kind of put me in that situation to begin with. And that was very scary. But for me, I've kind of started to realize that fear and excitement are almost the same emotion because it's just the unknown.
It is.
So you
It
can be
is.
scared about it, which is easier, or you can try to look at all the different ways that it could be exciting and then realize that even if it doesn't go right, everything always works out. It's just not necessarily in the way that you were hoping it was going to go or
Indeed.
thought it would.
And also pushing the toxicity of people out of your life in order to become a better version of you.
Yes, we were talking about that earlier. It's so hard though because
It's actually very easy.
it gets easier the more you do it, but I
Yeah.
feel like when you have something that is like a huge toxic driver and then you don't realize it is until it suddenly blows up in your face and then you're kind of like, oh, but then it's like gets a little harder the next time but
Yeah.
then it gets easier and easier the more you do it. And then you're kind of left around going, oh, it was kind of this situation and this feeling I was in at the time that kept allowing all of these other like minor versions of that toxicity back in because it was comfortable, right? And it is that hard thing to kind of shut it off, but the more you do it, the easier it gets. Like training, for instance, it's kind of like the more you do it, the easier it gets in some areas. And then, oh, well, now I want to do something else. I want to get to a higher weight. I want to
It's
grow more mass. It's like,
yeah,
well, now I have to push a little harder, you know, and that gets a little harder, but then it gets easier,
exactly.
just like anything.
Exactly. Having that doorway to really try new things. And that's why I feel like next year is going to be a really exciting year because not only we're doing jiu-jitsu, but I want to do like cooking classes and then,
That's fun.
redesigning my house. And
Mm-hmm. You
it's
do
all
like
just really
cooking
exciting.
shows, like for your streams. Get yourself in a little apron.
I don't think I'll do cooking shows, but to be honest, I've actually had a few people wanting to like see me cook
Yeah.
just because I post like my cooking photos on my like Instagram stories.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, oh, what do you put in your food? I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell you. You're going to have to find out yourself.
Yeah, you gotta subscribe to figure that out.
Literally.
But that is the cool thing about these platforms, though, is that it's like, well, here's what you're known for, but then they see a little bit more, and they're like, well, can I see that too? And it's like, okay, maybe I can monetize this then, because it's like you can choose how much of yourself you want to put out and how much you want to keep to yourself.
Exactly.
You know, and that's really cool. I'm not good at cooking, but I do a little like video every now and then, cooking with no pants with
Imagine
Molly.
cooking together.
We should. You come to the States and I'll cook with you. But you can't wear pants. That's
Can I wear a G-string?
yeah, of course. Just no pants. That's the only rule.
All right,
It's just
all right.
no pants. Anything
Okay.
else goes.
All right. I'll get myself like a little apron.
You should. I might actually have some little aprons. I got just those little
Ooh.
like maid aprons that
Oh,
don't
that's
cover
cute.
anything.
That don't cover anything.
It's just
We're
like
gonna
a
get dirty
loincloth.
anyways.
Oh no, but
Yeah.
that's fun.
What would be your New Year's, I guess, resolution? I wouldn't really say resolution.
Yeah,
more
I've
so,
always hated the whole. Ever since
More
I'm
so-
such a cynical person, I was like, you shouldn't have resolutions. You should just try to be better all the time. And it's like, well, I didn't take that advice for a really
do you
long
have
time.
any goals for next year?
Get monetization back to the podcast.
And besides that,
Mm. I don't know. So
I feel like-
I've kind of reached this point. I think we kind of were talking about it a little earlier, but I feel like I kind of got back into this swing of like I don't have time to do this, and I'll delegate like shooting content to this person, or maybe I'll go work with this person. And then it's the whole thing of kind of like cutting off some toxicity. Like, this is no longer serving me. I'm going to cut it off. And like, I feel like I kind of got really down this year about a lot of things, because it was just kind of like I was mentioning, like, kept running into a wall here, and I'll try to go this way, but now it's another wall, and now I'm in a cube and I can't get out. And
Yeah.
I kind of, I hate to admit it, but I kind of put myself there because I started almost delegating too much.
The fact that you're aware that you have been doing too much and that you are hitting these brick walls, it just so shows
Yeah.
that you are able to push forwards
It's just
and know that you can.
yeah, but it's frustrating to me because it's kind of like I reach these points where it's like I have all these fingers and I want them all in something else, and then I realize that I've overextended myself, but I don't want to give up on any one thing. So then it kind of is coming back to, okay, well, what can I do? What can I maintain? What deserves my focus? And I think that's the hardest thing, is because I kind of have a little FOMO of everything. So it's like I don't want to completely give up on these things that I enjoy, but when the things that I enjoy are becoming so much that I don't enjoy them, I'm like, well, obviously I'm gonna have to pull back, but how can I keep a little bit of it without like putting too much energy into
Do you
the
give
thing?
yourself that time to yourself?
No, I hate time to myself.
Well, there's your problem.
All right, so that's my New Year's resolution.
Give time to
Giving
yourself.
time to myself. That's the problem. I hate just like sitting with the thoughts. Like, my brain is a very scary place to traverse most of the time. And I think like when I'm in Australia especially, I think about it a lot more.
Okay.
Because I feel like in the States it's very much like go, 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 go. There is no time to do the thing. And then
Definitely
here
felt
it's
that when
like
I was there.
I work way less. It's like I have less connections here, which is like I have you, which is great, and I know a couple other people, but it's not this constant rush like it
Yeah.
is when I'm home, and it's great on one hand, and on the other hand, it's kind of scary because then I'm set with all this time with just my thoughts, and my brain is, like I said, it's a scary place sometimes. And, I get into these modes where everything starts to feel so overwhelming. It's almost like when I can't constantly be doing something and I don't constantly have my attention focused on other things. I'm like, well now, oh sorry, but now what do I do? Like there's too much time and I have to make up for it in this, and I'm really forced to kind of like sit down and compartmentalize, which I'm not very good at.
How do you break down your day, especially as a creator?
I feel like I'm being interviewed now. How do you break down your day as creator?
I'm a very set scheduled person.
Oh, really?
So I have my days where I do create, but I also have my days where I'm really, in the office
Mm-hmm.
doing what I do. And, I have my meal times all set. I wake up at a certain time. I have a shower at a certain
good.
time.
That's
Do my
so
makeup
good.
whilst I'm eating. So
You sound so healthy.
I try.
I'm like, I'll reach like the end of the week. I'm like, why am I so miserable? It's like, oh, you
Oh.
didn't shower all week. You took a bath in your own filth, you fucking pig.
Oh my God.
Thinking that it would help something to soak your tired muscles.
Your
and then
soul.
you thought, oh, I'll just relax in the bathtub, but you didn't. You took your laptop in there and your iPad and your notepad and your phone, and you were working the entire time sweating in your own filth. And then you got to the end of your week and you're like, oh, let me see. Is it midnight again? And I forgot to eat all day because I didn't set any schedule. Did I not sleep enough because I feel guilty for sleeping? It's like, it's very unstructured, and I should have a structure. But I feel like if I try to set out a structure for my day, I somehow feel less productive.
That's fair enough.
Because it's almost like limiting myself,
Okay.
which is like,
No, I
it's
totally
very
understand.
unhealthy. I know it's very unhealthy.
It's a different mindset if you put it that way.
The grind set. Fuck. No, but it is unhealthy, and
I used to be
do know
very
that.
much I used to be very much like that, where it'd be like, okay, I'm gonna do this time, and then time would just fly so fast, and I'm like, holy shit! And there was no time for anything else, no time for my ex, or no time for friends if
Yeah.
I had any. But it was just like time went by so fast, and the next thing you know, I was just training at like 9, 10 o'clock at night. But now, since I have all this time, it's like, okay, I really need to structure myself. Living on my own with Luna, it's like it just feels like there's all the time in the world,
Yeah.
and there's just so much that you can do throughout that one day.
Yeah. I definitely I get into the modes of like the amount of times that I've like been like, all right, it's 6 o'clock, I'm gonna eat like a normal person, and I'll like either order food or I'll cook it, and then I'll get distracted by things, and I'll come back an hour later and it's cold. I'm like, fuck, all right, I'll throw it in the microwave. 2 hours goes by, it's still in the microwave. I've forgotten and it's just like, it's that's just one instance of things where it's like, or I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna try to go to bed at a decent hour this time, and then I get distracted by these. I'm like, I'll just answer a couple emails, and it's like 3 hours later. And it's just like I have such a hard time shutting off,
Yeah.
like, and just
I think a great step that helped me shut off was to get off my phone when I'm eating. Spend that time to really just look at that food when I'm eating and not, working.
I don't even necessarily look at my phone while I'm eating.
It sounds silly, but
No, I agree. It's one of the things, like when I'm out at a restaurant or something, like specifically, I don't look at my phone. It's very much, but most of the time I'm not going out to eat. And so I'll be
Yeah.
like cooking, and while I'm cooking, I'll be like, checking the emails, or I'll be like, replying on OnlyFans, or I'll be like making a shot list for a shoot that I have tomorrow, or doing all this stuff. And it's like, and then it's prepared, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to finish up this email and then I will eat. And then it's like my brain goes, oh, and you forgot about the laundry that you left 3 hours. It's probably rotting in there and you should move that over. Oh, now there's all this stuff you have to fold from the dryer. And oh, this person replied on OnlyFans, so now I got to reply back to them. And then the food's cold. So it's like,
yeah,
I
it
just,
gets a bit like
time
that.
management is really bad for me. And maybe that's just my It's just a crazy brain thing, but I'm not sure how I
little bit
should work on
scattered.
that. Very scattered. It's mayhem in here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I do actually have some questions
Oh, yes, yes. You
from
asked
the
your anonymous
anonymous.
questions.
So maybe we could get some interesting
Luna's
ones.
just like chilling. Cats normally like do not give me the time of day. Maybe it's because I don't smell like dogs for once
She
because
loves you.
my dogs aren't here.
And then again, anyone I bring over, she's just all over
Just
them.
a warm little muffin. Laura,
Yes?
my lips are so dry.
What happened?
I don't know, but I think if you kiss me, it will help.
No!
Well, in lieu of that, I guess I might go to liquidiv.com and use code TWND to save 15% and get free shipping on everything that I purchase. And luckily, I did, because joining us today, we have sugar-free white grape from Liquid IV. If you've never tried Liquid IV before, Laura, do you want to tell them a little bit about what they can find inside one stick of Liquid IV?
Well, one stick of Liquid IV contains all the vitamins and nutrients that you need to really be hydrated, and it has all the B's.
Vitamin B3, B5, B6,
B12,
B12, and
and
vitamin
vitamin
C,
C.
which are very, very good for your hydration station, which is your body.
Yes.
So if you think that you might be dehydrated, you probably are. If you're seeing this right now or hearing this, you are probably dehydrated because a lot of people are. And I like to start my morning, every morning, with one stick of Liquid IV, dissolved in 16 to 18 ounces of water. I just put it in my little tumbler, take it out on my day, and I have it before I even start coffee in the morning.
It's the best. And then this is the sugar-free one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're so good.
My-
They're all so good.
My personal favorite is white peach. I'm just currently out of white peach because I drank it all. But we love Liquid IV, and if you guys want to give it a try, these are perfect for a stocking stuffer, I would think, for the ho-ho holidays, or any time of year, really. I guess you could really have a stocking any time of year, but right now it's Christmas, so consider it in your gift purchases. You can go to liquidiv.com. Use code TWND to save 15% and get free shipping on everything that you purchase. Help the pod, help your hydration, or the hydration of your loved ones. Do you not care about the hydration of the people that you love?
Yes.
Do you want them to walk around all winter with chapped lips?
No.
Depression? Sadness? Those things can come from being dehydrated and just all walks of life, but something that will put a smile on their face is a pack of Liquid IV. So go to liquidiv.com, use code TWND, save 15% on everything that you purchase, and get free shipping. Thank you, Liquid IV, and back to the freaking show.
Ooh.
I have some really naughty ones. I don't know what it is about the NGLs I get, these anonymous questions, but they are always naughty.
I'm here for it. I am naughty.
Okay.
This is a totally wholesome, dirty podcast.
So the first one is, do you have a favorite position?
On top. Wait, so yeah, on top. I like I didn't used to like
On top with a girl or a guy?
guy.
Okay.
So my favorite lesbian position is scissoring. It's not. Scissoring can be done well, but you really have to kind of have someone else who's on the same level, kind of like knowing how to grind
Yeah.
instead of like the slapping it
Yeah.
together. But even with women, I'm this way with most sexual encounters. I'm very much a giver. Like, I know how to get myself off using toys, using a dick. Like, I know how to do it. I don't need someone to do it for me. I've gotten very proficient at that. So I'm very much a giver. So I like giving pleasure, whether it's like blowjob or just going down on a girl. I don't really know positions. Like, it's funny, like shooting mainstream, I really like how pile driver looks just because it looks aesthetically pleasing, but it's terrible. It's like if I was in like a lesbian relationship or something, or just like fucking for, I would never put someone in pile driver to like tongue fuck their vagina. I would never do it. Like, it's not whatever, but for women, I don't know, I like all the touchy-feely of women, and I like
Very
being
intimate,
down there between the
sensual.
legs, and I
Yeah.
like playing with the titties and like looking up to see if they're enjoying the thing. But I'm the same with blowjob. I'm like, I said this on another episode, like a ball pirate. I'm like down there just like looking, like, am I doing a good job? Like, validate me. But no, but for guys, definitely it is on top now, and it did not used to be because So I don't know. I'm sure that you know this, but to be on top with a guy, they kind of have to have a bigger dick.
No
And
comment.
I would be on top in another relationship, and I'd be like, it keeps coming out. This isn't fun for me. Is this fun for you? It wasn't fun for him. He wasn't even into me. I didn't realize that till later. But so it was. That's my favorite now because I feel like I get to have all the control, and I've been doing a lot of legs,
Nice.
so I can stay up there a long time. It was really nice. I
Nice.
really like it because I feel like even from that position, it's like I can Kegel better. So I have like way more control of my own body. And when I Kegel, I can just make myself like come from Kegling, which is fantastic. So I really like that. And I like it puts me kind of more in that dominant position
Yeah.
without actually it being like dominating you,
Yeah.
you know. Although the first time that I had sex with my current partner, nothing was off limits. I was an animal. I don't know what happened. I had never fucked like that in my life. I was like, I don't know what came over me. I think it was the accent.
That's exciting.
And I just like attacked.
You
Just
love
like,
the Aussie accent, don't you?
I love it. So fucking love it, mate. So fucking good. No, but yeah, I definitely like being on top. Although there is a really good position that I like on my belly, like not even necessarily doggy,
Right.
but on my belly.
Is it like a
And just-
scissoring kind of position, or?
Kind of like, sometimes if my legs are like together, like I'm just
Oh yes,
I'm
yes.
laying and I'm like, you can get so deep. That's crazy. It's just like I'm a like a tube, like just a big tunnel, just like like little pillar. I'll reach back there. I'm spreading my butt cheeks, like get in there, water, like get deeper.
Sounds very, very
Yeah.
sensual.
How about you? Like, what's your?
I wouldn't really say I have a favorite position. Like I said before, I do love to be worshipped, so I love that build up of just being pleasured.
Mm-hmm.
I do love to give, but more so the build up I love to receive.
Mm.
And it could be through anything, like with a man or a woman. I
Mhm.
feel like, I don't know. I find that very, I don't know. I just feel like I'm getting closer to that person when they learn my body,
Mhm.
when they learn my limits, when they
Yeah.
learn the spot.
Mhm. Yeah, it was actually it was always difficult for me for the longest time. Like I'm much better with it now. It's like, my current partner knows what I like and get it done. But it was almost this like, so with my ex, and I've mentioned this on other episodes, not with you, but any time that my vagina was anything like if it was not dry, there was a problem with it, which is not how you want a vagina to be. I didn't know that. But it was like if there was any amount, like, when you're ovulating, you get a little like milkier or whatever, that was gross. If there was any smell other than no smell, it was gross. And I'm like, for me, it's a hang up that I'm working through because I never have that problem with other women. Like going down on women, I'm like, if it smells like a pussy, like whatever. But if it's mine, I'm like, it's terrible. And I feel like this, like, especially when someone's going down on me, I'm like, is it okay? Like, I'm so panicking that they're going to be like, that was gross. This is terrible. That I'm like, I don't know. I'd just rather like, suck it, like
It's all
go
about
down
that
on you.
confidence, girl.
Yeah, I know. I got to find it, right? But it's way better. It's way, way, way better than it used to be. But I still kind of have that little bit of a hang up in my brain that when I'm receiving the pleasure, like I almost feel a little guilty about it or something. Maybe it's not even guilt. Maybe guilt's not the right word, but it's just a strange feeling that I
That's fair
get.
enough.
You know what I mean?
That's
So I
fair
wish I could get to that. Worship me, my body is, but I'll get there eventually. But
I think it takes a lot of strength to be able to have someone worship you.
yeah, it does, and I don't have it. You're much stronger than me. Look at your arms. It's insane. It's so
I think not even just like as a muscular woman, I think just in general.
strong. No, I know. I was
To
just making a joke.
I don't know what it is. I find it very attractive when a man can take the time to really, I guess, just soak in your body and really just feel it. Just take that time to feel,
Yeah.
to see. I don't know what it is, but
No,
eye contact,
I agree.
eye contact is everything to me.
love it.
If you can converse with someone, that communication, but also communicate through eye contact, it is like a
love
sex
it.
language within
Yeah.
itself.
Oh my God. I know. I feel you. It's like even with my current partner, it was like just feeling like he wanted to be there. was like, this is weird.
Yeah.
Like, this is not normal. And it's
Having
like,
a
no,
man.
it should be normal. It should be normal to have someone like want to be there and invested in like
Yeah.
your pleasure and like, you know, give you signals that they are enjoying the process. Or like, I don't know if I ever did like one of the first times that just blew my mind with him. It was like he had to go to work and I was like, I want a quickie, and he just ate my pussy and left for work. I was like, what the fuck
It's not even
is
It's not
this?
even investing in the pleasure. It's a
Yeah.
man investing in a woman's time.
Yeah. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
It was like, because you actually feel like
You feel
valued.
valued.
Hey, look at that. Look at us. Whoever thought we'd be here.
You not only feel valued, but you just feel like you're just there and they want to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And if it feels rushed, you can instantly tell.
Yeah. I feel like that's also, it's kind of like in a relationship too. Like even outside of just sex, it's like you can tell when someone is invested in you and them and the time that you're sharing together. And you can tell when someone isn't. And that's typically going to correlate to the bedroom as well. Because it's like if you don't even want to be in my presence, or if I'm, you know, such a terrible person, as you say, or I cause you so much whatever, or we're not vibing outside of the bedroom, it's not going to work inside.
And we were talking about this before about having, I guess, having a man take the time to really see you for you.
Mm-hmm.
And if that communication is not there and they only see you with that bed, it's like, what am I doing here? You know?
Yep.
Even just as a friend, like, yeah, you could be a friends with benefits with someone, but it's about taking that time outside of the bedroom that really counts.
Yeah.
And some men just don't see that.
Yeah. And it's even like I mentioned with doing like scenes, doing scenes with girls for mainstream, it's like if there isn't any talking beforehand, it's like all of a sudden now we're just fucking, then it's not as good of a scene as if it's like we knew each other before, or we had some talking before, like some teasing, or like not even like teasing like, oh, I'm gonna tease you through your panties before like just talking and banter and like that kind of stuff, because it brings out it drops some of the walls. And when the
does.
walls are dropped, the sex is better,
It does.
the relationship is better, the friendship is better. Because if all you have around you is barriers, it's like me in the cube this year. I'm just like, nothing is working. And it's like, well, yeah, because you're in a fucking cube.
And
No
that's
one
what
can
I-
reach you in there.
And that's what I was saying. Like, communication is everything.
Yeah.
Like, if you can learn someone, even just like for 10 minutes, you can really gauge their energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's not a bad trait with me, but at the same time, it's like I can really gauge someone's energy, even just by being with them for 1 hour.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I can tell
sometimes
when
all
they're
you
a
need is
fuckwit.
and sometimes all you need is that 5 minutes, and you're like, nope.
Yeah.
But there were so many times like in the past that it would just be like I'd have those 5 minutes and I'm like, sure, fuck it, like it's fine, I'm sure this will fix it, and it doesn't. It's like, you know, it's like people having relationship problems and they're like, oh, I'm gonna have a baby. It's like, well, that's not gonna fix it.
Yeah.
Or we're having relationship problems, let's open up the relationship. Well, that's not gonna work. It's like you have to have that communication and the knowledge of each other and how each other's brain works, because everyone's brain processes things differently. Everyone reacts to things differently. And even if you don't react to something or have necessarily the same brain pattern as your partner or your friend, if you know that person and how their brain works, then you both know kind of how to address any issues, or not even issues, but just like, it's not necessarily issues together, but for instance, if you're having a problem outside of the relationship, if you are bringing that to your partner or to another friend, it's like, even if that friend sees that in a different perspective, they can kind of know how to relay that to you and how to communicate with you and talk through whatever other situations you're going for or going through, whatever. You know what I mean?
No, of course. That makes a lot of sense. Well,
More questions?
let's see. We just got
I'm surprised this has been running that long. That's crazy.
I
Good
just got
on you,
3.
Sony. You're killing it.
So many. Oh my gosh. Okay. The biggest turn on in a guy.
Physical or like personality attributes?
Let's split that into 2. So let's start off with personality.
Okay. I'm trying to think.
Can I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
I love
I'll
a
think while you
man.
do it.
I love a man that's sure of himself.
Yes, I was thinking like confidence, but like not. There's such a
There's
difference.
there's a
There's a
difference between
fine line.
cocky
Yes,
confidence.
arrogance
Yeah.
and confidence. There's such a fine line. And it's like, and I used to think like even with my ex-partner, like I used to think, oh, he's so confident. It's just arrogant. And I didn't
Yeah.
understand the difference. And but someone who's like sure of themselves and doesn't need the constant validation, but appreciates the validation. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, I
I
like
know.
that.
Yeah,
That's
I like that
definitely
too.
that's definitely a turn on. And
Not only
it's
sure of
making me
himself, but it's like
laugh.
when he knows what he wants and he
Mm-hmm.
communicates with you in that
Yes.
department,
Yes, and doesn't expect you to
it's
figure
not
it
a
out on
head
your
fuck.
own.
It's not a head fuck. I don't like a
Yes.
man that head fucks with you.
Yeah. No.
It's like
No
it's
mind
wasting your
games.
time.
Mm-hmm.
It's wasting so much of your valuable time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, okay, where do I stand? And
Mm-hmm.
this is how you're making me feel. If
Mm-hmm.
they're not sure of themselves, it's going to make you question you,
Yes. Yes.
and it
Because
questions your identity.
you're constantly wondering where you stand because one day this might be a yes, and then the next day it's like, well, I never said that. I never wanted that, and you did this and you did that. I'm like, but this is what you said that you wanted. I
Mhm.
had that so much in my last relationship where it's like,
Yep.
I want you to do this. This is what I want from you. I do the thing, and then suddenly that's not what they want. And then it's like, well, now you're a bad person. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, okay, well, what did I do? And now I have to make up for it. And it's like, you will just end up constantly trying to make up for something that you didn't do wrong. And
Exactly.
so then it's this constant, battle of like, well, where do I stand? And you end up walking on eggshells for the rest of the relationship, and that's not fulfilling at all. And you don't feel like you can truly be your authentic self. And someone who's confident in themselves doesn't need you to be anything other than what you are. And then you're able to fully open up and communicate with that person because you don't feel shame for being who you are, you know?
You don't feel ashamed of being vulnerable and
Yeah.
needing that guidance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Someone who can guide you without commanding. Like
Exactly.
guidance rather than having a commanding force, you know what I mean? Because then it's like, okay, you're going to get through this however you're going to, and I'm here to hold your hand and I'm here to give you suggestions, but whatever you're going to do, you're going to do, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
I feel like this year, well, towards this time being single, I've definitely learnt a lot about myself when it comes to, I guess, communicating with someone. And I've noticed that I'm a very nurturing person.
Mm-hmm.
In my last relationship, I felt like I really did lose myself. And I was questioned by by a close friend of mine asking me who the fuck I am. But it's like I know who I am and I'm a very nurturing person.
Mm-hmm.
And I love to give love. I love to give kindness, but that's just in my nature.
Mm-hmm.
I was so held back for so long, and now it's like I just want to give love, like even if it's just to a friend.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just a part of me,
Yeah.
regardless if it hurts.
Yeah. And it's hard because it's like I kind of feel the same in some ways where it's like we were talking about over brunch. It's like you want to see the best in people and you want to give and you want to help and it's like the nurturing thing. You want to be there for them. You want to show the kindness. And then it can be so devastating when you're in a situation that you feel like you're giving that and you're like, but where is it back? Where do I get that back eventually? And it's one of those things of starting to recognize the patterns in people who are like, oh, I have given too much because now I'm not getting back what I need. And it's that recognizing in yourself what it is that you need. And if you are a caring, nurturing, loving, kind person who wants to give that, it's like you have to, it kind of hurts when you realize that you have to start being selective with who you're giving it to because you want to give it to everyone, because you're just like, you're that kind of person. You just want everyone to be happy and to feel loved and to feel fulfilled and to kind of bask in the glow of kindness and generosity and all that. But it, some people,
It has to
some
go
people
both
are, some people
ways.
are the opposite and they are like, I want to receive that. And I don't care to give it back because there's givers and takers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's
But as
crazy.
far as physical attributes, got all deep and shit. What's like one of your like turn-ons like physically with a guy?
Physically on how he is towards me
Just
or
physical attributes like
like looks
hmm
wise that I find very
hmm
attractive.
I like veiny hands, like
Oh,
veiny forearms and veiny hands and a cheeky smile.
I I've never really been too picky when it comes to someone's looks. So it's really hard for me to gauge what I love. There's just so much. I mean,
It's
if I had to
definitely
pick like the top
physical.
five,
Physical is not like the most important. I think the most important is like we were saying as far as personality for sure. But like, cause I don't even have like I wouldn't say that I have a type, you know, of like guy
yeah,
I'm
I
attracted. Cause
don't
there's
have a type.
everybody has like so many different like physical attributes that are attractive in their own way, and maybe something will look amazing on one person and then
Yeah,
look not the same on a different person, but that other person has different attributes that maybe wouldn't translate to the
exactly.
other person
And
for sure.
not only that, but speaking on the personality wise, it could be someone that's the complete opposite of me
Mm-hmm.
that I find very attractive.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love like nerdy like gamers or like guys that are really into heavy metal.
Yeah.
You know, it could be the complete opposite, but it could also really correlate to something very similar.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things is like the whole opposites attract thing. And it's like you can't be so completely opposite, but when you, it goes back to like the confidence thing of someone who knows what they like and knows what they want, and they
Hmm.
don't need your validation with what it is that they enjoy. You know, it's like my partner and I have vastly different interests, but we have some shared interests. And I find, you know, what he's interested in that I'm not. I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting, or maybe I will learn something about that,
And
or it's
that's
like, but I don't need to know everything about that, but he
exactly.
does. And the same, you know, vice versa with me. It's like, well, he's like, I don't care about movies, but here's a couple movies that I've suggested that he really enjoys, and we can come together on those small things. But having your own interests and your own personalities that kind of end up meshing, it's like if you're just with someone who's exactly like you, it's like, well, you might as well be fucking single. You might as well date yourself. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I've definitely learnt to love myself a lot more.
Good. That makes me happy.
It's great to be able to clash with the personalities of someone if they're willing to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I, for instance, love learning not only physically but mentally about someone, but I also love to know their traits and their interests.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say, like, a guy, you know, loves playing a specific sport. It's like, holy shit, like, I want to make a fool of myself and learn that until I get
Mm-hmm.
good at it. You
Yeah.
know,
No,
I don't care.
because
Like,
it gives you such a broader. It's like the all the different types of people that I talk to on the show. It's like, I don't know anything about this, but teach me. Like, show me something
exactly.
that I don't know, because it so broadens your understanding of things. And maybe you will try these things. Maybe you will learn a bit about them. Be like, not for me, but that's your thing. And that's cool. And it makes me happy how happy it makes you. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But then at least you kind of, when you, it's like learning someone's body, where at least if you get a little bit of that insight, you can kind of figure out what kind of makes them tick. And then you can figure out, well, maybe here's something new that I do like, or I still don't like it, or whatever, but at least you know and you tried. And
Even if you make a fool of
yeah,
yourself, like, at least you try.
absolutely.
I don't care how much they judge me. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
really don't. It's gotten to that point where it's like, I know who I am, and if I'm going to be stupid, like,
Mm-hmm.
accept that.
Yeah. And if someone's going to judge you like on that pretense for having a willingness to learn or to try, then fuck them. Like,
Hmm.
that's not worth your time anyway. Like, you should be silly and goofy and make a fool of yourself. Like, it, there's so many worse things that I've made a fool of myself for, and typically they're just by not being myself. And then I look like a fool afterwards, and I'm like, well, that, I should have just been myself from the start, you know?
And that's where you're learning.
Yeah. Learning.
Let's have another.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Ooh, okay. Hmm. Okay, let's see. Oh my God, there's so many. Okay. Ooh, favorite sex fantasy. I think we topped that, didn't we? I don't think we did we?
Sex fantasy.
Yeah, like a sex fantasy, something that really makes you like excited. I feel like there's so many.
I feel like there are so many. I don't know. Like I said a bit with like it's almost like whatever's it feels naughty like in a car.
Oh,
Like
you're
some
that kind of girl.
somewhere a little public that's like not public, but it's kind of like
Do you
could we
find
get caught?
yes, I was gonna say, do you find the excitement of like that feeling of
Am I in trouble?
getting caught?
My fantasy is being in trouble.
I think that where it comes to play with you like to be watched.
Yeah, kind of ties back into a bit of the kink
It sounds
stuff.
exciting. It sounds
Yeah.
exciting.
Or even just like so I did I took a friend to a sex club in Washington once, and we just like done stuff on cam. We weren't like together. We just like do the naughty stuff, you know. And we like went into an orgy room, and nobody else was part of the thing, because it's one of those things. If you're not like beckoned, you do not touch, and everyone's super respectful. Like everyone knows the rules. But we just like fucked in the middle of a room in front of and around other people. Some people are just watching on the walls. Some people are like doing this or that. And it's just like the presence of like being there and being like, I know you're watching, but like I'm having fun and I'm making her come and she's making me come. Or like being in, oh my God, like if I were to have sex like in a cube, a glass cube of motion. There's just people watching. Like I think that'd be so hot, actually. Like those old rooms of like they pull back the curtains and it's like there's like doing the thing. I think that would be really hot.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that. I don't know. I'm an attention whore. So, but also
I love
like
how you admit
but
it,
also like I'm an
though.
animal behind glass. I'm like, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Like
You're really
just look. Just
introverted to
yeah.
yourself.
Yeah. I'm kind of it's a very weird thing, because I'm very much, if my clothes are on, I'm like, no one look at me. But if I'm naked, I'm like, everyone look. Like, look at me have an orgasm. It's fun, right? But yeah, it's very strange. I wonder why that is.
No, I love it. I love that.
How about you? Do you have like, what's your
My fantasy. That's a very deep question. I feel like it would involve like a really dark room, or like it could be dark but raining. I love the rain. Like I love mysterious dark
Yeah.
weather.
Oh, I feel that.
So I feel like just being with someone in a dark space would be really exciting.
That's what I liked about the
Or
sex
like,
club, is it was very dark, but it was like the mood lighting, like a little bit of the RGB around the edges, so you can see like the shadows of people, and but you can't like
Yes.
really see faces.
Mhm.
It's kind of
That's
like
really
like
exciting.
it's kind of like with camming, where it's like I know there's all these people like on a live stream. I know there's all these people watching, but I can't see them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like I know they're watching.
It's that little bit
Yeah.
deeper in
Yeah.
thought.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
like
makes it
that.
really exciting. I don't know. I love just like darkness. I think that's where it comes to like that heavy metal aspect of things. Like I just
So you're not like a
love
lights on fucking.
no. No.
I like
Maybe
just,
like a dominatrix room.
I like just enough light that I can see a bit of what I'm doing. That's why like my house is like. I mean, you were only there during the day, but
Your house is very colorful. Like there is so much of your personality just out in the open.
but like in my room especially, it's like I have all blackout curtains, and everything is very colorful until you turn the lights on, and then or lights off, and then there's just like some pink RGB. So it's like just enough light to kind of like
Very
see what's
kinky.
going on, and it feels so moody.
Yeah.
Like where it's like pink, red, blue. That's like a sex vibe for me. So it's like if I can have that lighting
Really?
on,
That's very bright for me.
like, but dark. It's not like I'm talking
Just
like
pink in general. It's just no, but I get
no,
you.
but it's not. But I don't like bright lights. I just like that very moody where there's just like a little bit of an offset. So it's like I get that glow from like the neon sign, right?
Yeah.
And I can kind of like see their expression, and I can see like the body a bit, but it's like it feels very moody and dark, you know.
I think I'm a very 50 Shades of Grey. I think when it comes to like that male aspect, But then I also love the dominatrix aspect.
So you're kind of a switch.
I'm very much a switch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would like to dominate, but then also have. Would you prefer to have like two, or someone who is also a switch? Do you know what I mean? As far as if you were to have like a, just say hypothetically, if you were to have a partner, would you rather have someone who's like very much like in the role of dominating you, and then have like
Can we
a
not say
side
partner?
sub?
Can we-
Oh, sorry.
No, no,
I don't know. I feel like that's what everyone says now, so I never want to be like offensive.
No, I
but
mean,
if you were to have a
if I had
boyfriend,
one,
or yeah.
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Sorry, my leg has fallen asleep, my dear.
I feel like a bit of both. A bit of both.
Bit of both, but like from the same person? Or would you?
I
would
think
you
my
be more
mindset right
interested
now is I don't want to give love to one. I would rather give it to many. So it could be a whole bunch of different personalities. And that's what I find really exciting,
Yeah.
is that it doesn't just have to be one.
So you can have that kind of like variety to cater to the
variety,
different feelings
Not
in the
only
moment,
different-
the different.
And also different genders.
Yeah.
Like with a male or a female. And that's just a part of me.
Do you find yourself more dominant or submissive with like women or men, or do you think it's just kind of dependent on the person?
It depends on the person, but I definitely have noticed with women I'm more dominant.
Me too.
Yeah.
I find it very difficult.
I feel like we would clash.
I feel or we could have a lot of fun.
That's true. That's true. I meant clash in a good way.
Yeah. No, I feel like I've definitely always like been more dominant with women, and it's one of the things too that like most women are so much smaller than me that I can't even envision like being dominated by a woman. Like, it feels silly.
I think it could be very
almost.
sensual and sexy to have two doms together.
I think so
Very-
too,
yeah.
because it's almost like you kind of get like that superhero power struggle.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It's a
Like-
little bit of a challenge. Who can make who come first?
Yes. But one of you, like, you're both holding back so that
Yeah.
you don't. You're like, no,
Just
you,
edging each
no,
other,
you.
like-
I love edging.
Edging is
Oh
one of
my God. Okay, so
favorites.
there's my fantasy again.
Yeah.
We'll have another one.
Yeah.
I have so many apparently. I love edging. I fucking love it, because then it's like you're reaching that point where you're almost there, right? And you're just like, nah. And I'll do it to myself when I'm masturbating. If I have enough time, I'll edge myself. I'm just like, I'll watch like the same video, or I'll go back to a spot that I liked, and then go back through it. And once you finally reach that like pinnacle orgasm, like you cannot stop it. It's the best.
Do you have like a specific place in the house that's like your spot?
my masturbating room?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing.
I love how you just like, that was a very quick answer.
So the room that I offered you to stay in is my masturbating.
Stop it, you. You're too kind.
My personal pleasure palace. No, but it's one of those things. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm so hypersexual, and I like, if I spend a day and I don't come, I'm gonna be in such a bad mood. So usually when I wake up in the morning while the coffee is brewing, I'll go make myself come in the masturbating room.
Yeah.
And
It's very time efficient.
yeah, because it saves time, and sometimes I'll record it, sometimes I won't. And sometimes it's just for me.
Yeah.
But like, my partner works late, and so gets up later, and I'm like, well, I'm not gonna wake him up right in the morning and he'll be like, oh, and I'm just like, like, so I just take care of business myself, and then it's like, and then maybe a couple more times if I'm feeling extra grumpy, and I just go in there and take care of business.
Fair.
Yeah.
I like that.
Is your masturbating spot the spot you showed me? Okay, sorry.
Let's just say my water bill is very high right now. I'm not sorry for it either. I'm like, I see the bill and I'm like,
Whoa.
oh, that's expected.
I don't I've tried to do with the water before, and sometimes I can get it, but I feel like maybe my pipes just aren't as powerful.
Wait, do you have one of those shower heads where it like comes off?
Yeah. Well, I do now. It's new. I haven't played with that one as much.
You so
that
did that
one
on purpose.
I did.
You are
Absolutely, I did.
genius.
Absolutely, I did. See, here's the problem. I had one in my bathtub, and I was like, cool. When I bought the house, it had one. I was like, sick. And
Yeah.
then I go to use it, and it's not powerful. It's kind of just like,
It's not powerful enough.
yeah. Well, not for me. I require a lot of power. I don't know if you know this about my clit, but it needs some stimulation.
Yeah.
No, but the one I installed in the shower seems a lot more powerful, but I haven't had as much chance to play and experiment with that one. I even built a little seat into my shower
Oh, that's exciting.
so that I can sit down and prop myself up.
One of those
and-
BDSM chairs.
No, unfortunately, it's just like a little. It was
Just
funny.
being a little bit creative there.
It was funny because they were putting together the shower and like showing me like their plans for whatever. I had to redo it anyway because there was mold, black mold in the shower, which is super cool. And they were like, so we're thinking like this size for the thing, so you can put your foot up on it to like do your shaving and stuff. I was like, can you make it bigger? And they were like, well, how much bigger? I was like, we're just
gonna
I was like,
sexualize
I
this
was like,
planned shower.
I was like, because I work out a lot, right? And I get sore, so sometimes I like to just sit in the shower. And the guy's like,
Stick it on this.
girl, you know. You know. And it's close enough. He wants to build it against this wall. And I was thinking, well, if it's against that wall, I can't use my foot to brace against the counter from this chair.
you just,
So
like,
can you
create
put
this-
it over in this one?
Oh, just have like a little sex swing in the shower. Just putting your shampoo like swinging.
It's not quite big enough for that, but I absolutely would if I could. My ideal bathroom would be one where it's like the whole like a wet bathroom where it's like there's the big
It's like an
drain and
open-
it's huge and open and
Yeah.
and I could just put all the things like I would put handlebars. I'd be like
Yes.
hanging from do pull-ups in the shower while I'm getting fucked or something. Like I
That
just
sounds fun.
but yeah, I have to play with that one
Yeah.
more. I'll have to test it.
A full like dungeon.
Yeah, a
house.
dungeon shower.
Ooh, that would be
Yes.
exciting.
Oh, that'd be sick.
Someone asked, "Are you guys going to do content together?"
No. Y'all know how much I love making content, and one of the most important things for quality videos is lighting. But who wants the same old boring ring light? You can upgrade from basic to adorable at kawaiilighting.com with code TWND for 10% off. This podcast is lit by Kawaii Lighting's star-shaped ring light. There are also heart and kitty cat options to make you feel as cute as these lights look. Kawaii Lighting has many RGB options, which you'll have seen used in many of my videos and photos. Don't be basic. Stand out with Kawaii Lighting by using code TWND to save 10% and help support this wholesome pod. Let them know we sent you. Yes,
Yes, we are.
absolutely.
You guys will have to wait and find out.
Yes, I'm excited. I can think of a lot of fun things that we could do for sure.
Oh yeah, me too. Let's not talk about that too much.
Gonna have to go up your water bill again.
Doubled this time
Yeah.
since you're here.
Yeah. I'm like, are you done in there yet? I need to get used.
Well, no one lives with me, so
Oh, there. We'll just do it together.
exactly.
I just need some space.
Oh, I've got a lot of room in my shower.
It was a joke.
Let's see. Would you ever date someone smaller than you? Not necessarily all things small, but just like as a smaller build. Like he
yeah.
could be shorter, or he could be just like skinnier.
I'm happy with what I got, to be honest. And we're kind of like, it's kind of weird because we're like the same height, unless one of us is wearing shoes that have a thicker sole. And I
Yeah.
feel like I kind of like it because it's a good fit. You know what I mean? But like,
Like skinnier, like at the AVNs when you picked up that guy and bicep killed him.
oh,
Like
well,
like light.
I don't think I could. Just okay. So it's one of the things that like with women, I like to be more dominating. So if I was dating a woman, absolutely,
Yeah.
like for sure. But I feel like with men, it's like, well, I like to even be dominating in the bedroom, like just have a dominating presence and be a little more in control. I still like the idea of
A
someone
build.
being able to switch,
Yeah.
like you said. So it's kind of like with women where I have a very difficult time getting into a submissive role for most women because I'm like, I feel like I'm pretending, you know? It's like
Yeah.
if I know I can like throw you over my shoulder and then like go like this to you, like it's just
But not
and
only
you can't do it to me, then it's kind of like it's not as much of a turn on when it comes to men. And there's nothing wrong with like even someone who was shorter than me, right? I don't mind that as long as you like could if you could lift me, absolutely. But like I feel like I would just have a more difficult time lining up. You know what I
no, that
mean?
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And definitely, I
Love
would
our
say I'm
short
the same.
kings, but you know, I just feel like I it's also one of the things that as far as skinnier too, like not maybe as built, I kind of just I feel like well I like
More
to
like
train with
athletic.
my partner. So it's kind of like if I were to be dating someone, it's like I'm the one putting the effort into my body. I feel like as far as compatibility, even sexually, like maybe it would be fine or whatever, but I don't look at it just as sex. So it's like I want someone who can kind of keep up with me, whether it's in the bedroom or whether it's just going and doing things. So I kind of feel like I want someone who's just kind of even just my build. If I could date a guy who looked like myself but without boobs
Yeah,
or
so
with
pretty
boobs,
much,
I
pretty
don't
much
know.
just athletic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, not like doesn't have to be like and like no neck or whatever, but it'd be nice if they were kind of more on par.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you? For
Oh, I have different. Like I said before, like I don't really judge men based off their physique.
mm-hmm.
So they could be any kind of build, and I feel like it's more so just the presence with their face
Mm-hmm.
or their personality that really, I guess, makes me tick.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily their weight or their
No,
height.
and the way it's not even like necessarily like that. It's just like I feel like I have dated and been in relationships with guys who are smaller than me.
Yeah.
And it ends up turning into this thing where even if I kind of start liking them as a person or whatever, I feel like there becomes this thing, and it's probably not everyone, but this has been all of my experiences where it's like you're talking about, well, now I can't wear heels, or
Yeah.
they get like an inferiority complex
Oh,
that I
okay.
can't vibe with. It's like I already had that with someone, and I don't ever want that again. So I feel like be a lot more open with like you can be shorter or like don't be fit or whatever, but now that I've kind of like already been through that and have not had great experiences with it, it's not something that I would kind of look for now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, hi. Wow.
And the judgment based off of your looks to make them feel less of themselves. I mean, it just so shows how unsure of themselves they are too.
Yeah, and that comes back to the confidence thing, which
Yeah.
is one of the big
Yeah.
attractions, you know, where it's like and I'm sure that there are guys out there who are totally chill with that, but it's kind of one of those things where when you've already had those experiences, it's kind of how you would probably assume that things would go. That's where my brain goes. So
Yeah.
it's probably definitely not the case for everyone, I'm sure, but just based on my experiences, that's what I'm into.
No, of course. Well, let's see. Do we have much time left?
Yeah, why don't we answer like another one and then we can wrap.
Let's see.
I feel like you're judging me. Are you judging me? Do you want to speak into the microphone?
Do a little ASMR.
A little ASMR.
How about you? I guess.
Hmm?
How about you ask a question?
Oh.
I reckon because the other ones are very sexual. They're a little bit too deep.
Really?
They're a little bit too deep.
How deep?
Very deep.
I don't mind. I'm an open book.
Like, how about
You don't have to answer.
Okay. Okay. Have you participated double penetration? It's either that. It's either that. It's either that or Oh, wait.
So that's one thing I've
Someone
always
said,
been.
I want to suck the pee out of you. A lot of guys are really into, I guess,
Waterworks.
toilet play.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it's not a thing for me personally. So with double penetration, does that mean 2 in one hole or 1 in both holes?
Or double penetration with 2 girls and a dildo? Or,
There's so many ways you could go about that. So
Yeah.
I've done double dildo. I've done butt plug and dildo. I've done butt plug and penis. Ooh, this is the thing. You don't have to answer this if you want, but do you participate in anal? You don't have to answer. Hi.
actually, I feel like I will.
I feel like you will, but haven't.
No, I'm saying that it's my favorite.
How on this show do we always get to anal and it's always something surprising? Talk to me about this because,
It just feels better. I don't know.
okay, because for me, let me just
Oh, you're getting all
discuss.
comfy for me.
I am.
Luna's getting comfy too.
Hi.
This is news.
Back into the spot. Because so like butt plug took a while to kind of work up to, and I was like, okay, I have vibes with this. Like it's not like an all the time thing, but I like it, especially if I'm having sex, because it kind of like rubs extra and it like bears down on it. It feels
Yeah.
really good. But with anal, I always feel like my butthole's afraid, and it's hard to like. How do you accept it in?
I feel like it comes down to hygiene,
Okay, hygiene.
like preparing yourself for it.
Do you do like anal douching and stuff?
No.
No. So I know some
I
people
don't really
do.
want. I don't really want to get into detail,
No, no,
but
no.
I just will say that it feels a lot better than vaginal. I would say, just from my
Interesting.
personal
Yeah.
preference.
So I've tried. It's like so my ex small, and my ex before that small, and he like one of my first boyfriends that I was like having sex with regularly. He had a smaller one, and he said that he liked anal more, and I always just felt like I was pushing a shit in and out of my butt repeatedly. It was not pleasurable. And I've tried in more recent times and I feel like too big. So I'm kind of like, I've been on this quest with many performers.
I think the quest is coming down to pain is pleasure, and when you can push past the
Okay.
the pain.
Okay.
I think that's just like with me in life, just pushing past that pain.
Okay,
It
so
becomes very pleasurable.
I can get behind this. I think this.
Practice is perfection, my girl.
So you asked my resolutions
You are a
for
soldier.
2024.
You are a soldier, my girl.
My quest for 2024 is anal. It's been a long time coming, and I need to not look at it like a poop coming. See, maybe that was the problem. The other ones were too small, so it just felt like a turd coming in and out. But if you look at it like I really like, I don't know if you're into like nipple stimulation.
Not really.
Oh, I love it.
I love it being pulled, but like not like twisted or anything, like too much. Or like slapped. I'm just not into that. I do love it being pulled.
I don't really care about the slapping because that's just like the titty, and these are fake anyway. But the nipples, I really like a bite on them. Like I'll be biting on them like harder, like rip them off. Like, I don't need these things anyway. But so if I can look at it like that, because I do like pain. So
To a certain
look
extent.
at it, yeah,
But imagine the pain of
nipples, but in my butthole.
yeah.
Nipple pain, but in your butthole.
It's all about practice. Taking that time to really
I'm taking
nurture
it slow,
that
yeah.
butthole.
Because there was a time, and I was like, we're going slow, and I was like, okay. But I just have to accept it in, like the Lord.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think you can do it. I've got faith in you.
Thank you. That's all I needed. Just a little validation.
Yeah.
My anus is open. You can't tell because I'm wearing pants, but I think it's time. I started doing butt stuff. Because the other great thing about butt stuff is you don't have to worry about babies. You can't get babies out of your butt.
I think, especially with a lot of women, I'm not sure if it's just like with, I guess, just the pain. Because, like, a lot of women, let's be real here, a lot of women get like UTIs
Mm-hmm.
and infections.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like with me, it's not necessarily even because, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's just different.
Mm-hmm. Do you
And
use, do you,
and sometimes a lot of women, they go through a lot of pain and it just hurts. It could
mm-hmm.
be big and it could just really, really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But in my case, it's not that it hurts. It's more so just, I don't know.
I
It's
think
just
it's about,
different.
I think it's
It's
about the
just different.
relaxing too.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is the thing. Oh, I'm just not a relaxed person, so I need to work on that
You're very
too.
tense.
Very.
You're very,
All the time.
you are.
Yes, I know. I know. I'm a very
Next year,
tense
you just need
person.
to,
So, 2024 is all about relaxing and anal. Okay.
yeah. You're,
I think these are good plans for the new year. I think I'm gonna have to charge a lot of money for the first one, and then I think I can wrap my mind more around accepting it in.
so you haven't, I guess, displayed any anal play, have you?
Mm-mm. Just
Wow.
I have like butt plug videos, and I have one video that I made. It was like one of the it's so terrible. There was this I wish I could scrub it from the internet, but people love it because it's like the only one that exists. It was like one of the very first videos I ever made. It was on like a 480p webcam. In like a wood slatted wall room in a tiny little like crack house looking thing in Florida. And there's no decorations on the walls. It looks terrible, and it's just me with this like glass toy, like a couple thrusts. And it's like my ex was like, "You need to make an anal video," and it was so terrible. And I wish I hadn't. My foot is wrapped in a bandage. It's this whole shit show. So funny. But no. So I think that for 2024, I will have to work on relaxation, and once I can figure out how to be all zen and shit, then I can do anal.
in the shower.
Ooh, in the shower. That would make it a lot easier. Do you use lube or do you...
I'm very much a lube girl.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was there any like anal lube that you would recommend? As
I
I've
just
heard,
use normal, like
as I've heard some people say that like, oh, there's this one
normal
that is like
water-based.
relaxing, or
No.
then just use a normal one. And I ask everyone who does anal because I'm just like curious, and I've been on a quest for anal for a while.
You know, I just use like a normal, just any normal one.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe I should start working on like different butt plugs and like getting them bigger and
You just,
working
yeah,
on like,
go from small and then kind of
yeah.
work your way up.
and then all of a sudden it's like this is, but I'm like,
Have you seen those dragon dildos?
yeah, I have
They are
some.
crazy.
I have some. Not.
Oh, you have some.
Yeah. Like, actually, Bad Dragon years and years ago made me a unicorn dildo, and I do have a video using that, but not in my butt. And it's like it was like this long. Like it wouldn't stand up. Like if you would hold it by the base, it would just go like a big,
That's
like one of those like metronomes.
Yeah.
Like go back and forth.
Having to keep up.
Yeah, but my ex blew it up in the desert with some of my other favorite sex toys. So
Wow.
yeah, good times. But this has been fun, and I think that we should probably do another one while I'm here.
I would
We
love
can
that.
we can try to get more questions and stuff like that as well.
I
be
feel
really
like
fun.
I feel like that would be really cool.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I learned a little bit about you.
I learned more about you too.
For all the right reasons.
As soon as I do anal this year, I'm gonna be like, Ariel,
Yeah, please
I
send
did
me a
it.
message.
I relaxed. You'll never believe it.
I went all zen and shit.
But I didn't shit. It was great. It was so good. I was proud of myself. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, definitely give it
Yeah.
more of a shot.
Relaxing. Okay, so there's actually a goal because I was thinking this year I was like, I just have all these things to do, but I think that's honestly been a big problem for me this year. Is just like, I mean, and my whole life is just not relaxing, panicking about everything, which is that's not conducive. I got to be more like Luna here. Just chill, sit in someone's lap, rip up an ottoman, do what you got to do.
Yeah, just be all zen.
Be all zen and shit. That's the name of this episode. Oh, you want to tell everyone where they can find you?
So you can find my Instagram, Ariel__IFBB. And all my links are in my bio, so you can go and check them out. I've got some really,
Perfect.
really exciting stuff on there. So
Awesome. Well, thank you all for listening. Please leave us a rating wherever you watch or listen to podcasts. Apple Podcasts has 5-star rating right now, and Spotify is a little bit less. So anywhere that you want to rate would be super cool. If you want to share with a friend, word of mouth helps the podcast grow, and it's the only way that we grow because I don't know anybody, I don't have any connections. You can also watch video episodes on YouTube, youtube.com/@TWND podcast or youtube.com/Molly Stewart chats. Either link will work and bring you to the same place. Trying to think what else. You can follow the podcast on Instagram @TWND Podcast, on Twitter, X @TWND Podcast, and you can follow me on Instagram @thisredheadisSFW, and on TikTok @LeaveMollyAlone. There's been quite a few emails and stuff asking if you are talking to me on your text messages, and it's not me. So please stop getting catfished. It should be very apparent to you that an account that has 100 followers is not me. If you know enough to reach out to the podcast to ask if you are being catfished, chances are you are. So thank you all for listening, and we will see you Monday. Do you want to say CUM? What does that spell?
I'm going to leave it for the fans to think.
Come. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Luna. I got to get you off my lap.